So I just want to make this video, and it's very important to, I suppose, be aware of this in society. Be aware that things like this, people like have these conditions, disabilities, dyslexia, autism, etc. To be aware of this when you're talking to people, that they could have it. That they could have it, and not to criticize them. In other words, not to demonize them is the word I'm using. And to be aware. For example, for example, I'm dyslexic and I have a bit of autism. And obviously I treat sometimes. Now sometimes I tell you straight, and I might be honest with my grammar. I literally, if I went over the things about 6 million times, I couldn't see a mistake if I had it in spelling or grammar. So as I always say to people, try and please read between the lines if I ever put out a treat. Because you really would get the gist of what I'm trying to say. It might not be the best phrasing of it, but I rather speak than be able to write it, I suppose, because I'm more get my point across better, I suppose. Um, but yeah, obviously the other day I put up a tweet. It's about the teacher saying OT is fake news, in other words, and in other words, the virus. But listen to this. A lot of people did say, you should go back to school really because you spouted to you your grammar was terrible here. Your teacher should be teaching you more about grammar, etc., etc., etc. And as I pointed out to them, that I'm dyslexic, and I know that's some people might say, that's not an excuse, but again, it's not my fault. It really isn't because I couldn't see. Like we even went through it after they pointed it out to me. I really couldn't see anything that was any problem really with the spelling or anything like that or with the grammar. But again, that's just me. I just couldn't see it. I must be honest with you. I just don't see it, and that thick in the head. As one teacher said to me one time, one substitute teacher, when I was younger, that thick in the head. As probably a lot of people would describe me as. That I just couldn't see it. I must be honest with you, and it's about being aware, and the same as autism and the rest. Just to be aware that some people might not be as privileged as you to be able to spell, especially But again, you have to admire people like me who speak, who try and speak the best they can, try the ways whatever they have to ways, things like that. It's very noble because again, people will give you backlash. Obviously, whatever you say, people will always give you backlash. But again, just to be aware that people, because again, I just can't see it. That's just my case, and I suppose many of the people that have dyslexia, um, and I might just say straight, they just can't tell, and the spelling is terrible, the grammar. So I always try and read in between the lines, and please don't try and demonize them or try and make fun of them. Just just be aware of that. You don't go and make fun of people for that reason. But again, just one more thing too, people with disabilities too, because oftentimes you see people demonizing people over different things. And I just say to people, just to be aware. Just be aware that people do have disabilities. You might not see it. Some people might have lung diseases, etc., etc., etc. For example, there was as Tracy Mallory put up a video, and I watched it. Just recommend you to go and watch it about face masks. Some people can't wear face masks, just because they have problems. They really have problems with the lungs, with the breathing. They have doctor's exceptions and things like that, and members of the public demonising them, and people in shops demonising them. Under the legislation, you're obviously entitled to, because extreme distress or you have a doctor's note or anything like that, to not wear a face mask. It's, again, you have an exception. So say to members of the public, please keep that in mind. Please keep it in mind that, there is some people that might just not want to wear it, and that's, again, it's their choice, I suppose. But again, as I would say to people, again, you're entitled to go, I suppose, and I suppose demonize people if you want. But again, it's about being aware. Some people have problems, and some people have problems with the lungs, with the breathing. So please don't demonize people for not wearing a mask or anything like that. Just don't do anything. Don't demonize people for no reason, because you just don't know. Again, it's about not knowing. If you don't know the person, then you don't know what reason. Because again, I've seen people demonize people for not wearing masks, and it's just, because again, these people are genuine reason have doctor's notes, and they have shown and have seen a video where one woman was being abused by somebody for not wearing a face mask, and she showed her the doctor's note and everything like that. She's, because again, I just want to bring awareness to that. That's one thing about people with the disabilities, that keep in mind that people do have problems with the lungs. People do have problems with the respiratory systems. Just to keep it in mind, because again, just keep it in mind. And please just be mindful, being aware of this. I suppose that's just the word I'm using. Be aware of them key things, because again, just be aware. That's the word we use. I know it's very late and it might be a bit drowsy, but please just be aware. That's all I can say, and please do keep that in mind. Please do keep it in mind. Thank you.